Well, good morning, everybody, or nobody, or anybody. This will be my first speaking of the day, like usual with my videos. I guess it's my early conversation with myself. But I wake up every morning with a new idea that I process, and sometimes it pertains to dreams I've had. Like I said before, lately, I think I mentioned this. I've been letting I used to be a lucid dreamer, and I used to be obsessed with dreaming. I was excited to go to sleep, and it was a fun night. Was the fun time because I could fly when I wanted, do what I wanted. And I realized at that point in my life I was feeling a little bit trapped in my waking reality um, due to my work. And it even got worse when, and this is what's leading me into this video, I guess. There's two different subjects. It was cycles that I wanted to talk about. The cycles of our, not cycles, but rather the way that we adapt to our circumstances. And the example I guess I would use is about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now, I was moving lumber for work, and I was moving it too fast, twisting too hard, and a couple days later my sciatic nerve started to ache. And this went on for 5 years. And it came and went. I became so accustomed to working with excruciating pain that I'd get up in the morning, I'd leave to work early so I could beat traffic because it was way down there. This was about last year, about this time. And I would wake up with excruciating back pain. It would take me a few minutes to even be able to stand up. Then I would stand in the shower, do my best to wash without, I could barely put my socks on because my back hurt so bad. Sometimes I couldn't. But I would get up and I would get in my car and sit down and drive to work. It took me an hour to get there sometimes because of traffic. And the worst pain that I had during my sciatica was being in the car. So I would get to work and then my back would be messed up again from sitting, so I'd have to stand up, and it'd take me about 5 minutes to be able to stand up straight. Then I would proceed to work all day, lifting, moving, and twisting and bending. Just stupid, you know? But it's what I had to do to survive. It's how I made my money. And I became so used to that cycle, and so this is the way it is, that it really didn't bother me too much at the time. Looking back, retrospectively, I was, I wouldn't say it was a dumb choice. I had to make money. I had to do something, and carpentry is what I know. But the way that our bodies adapt to the circumstances that we get ourselves into, I think, is one of the most fascinating things about humans, and something we tend to forget. And a good when we have empathy for other people because of their situation, they don't always want it. I guess is what I'm getting at. Um, people used to be like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. It must suck." And I'm like, "Really? I'm used to it. I'm just used to it." Now, I could extend this metaphor to so many situations in life. Um, I wouldn't extend it as far as to say people who are, say, starving. If you're starving, you're hungry, but you become accustomed to being hungry. It's a horrible thing, and I'm trying to put this in a way that doesn't sound like, oh, it's okay that people are starving. That's not what I mean. It's to remember that, let's take being poor, for example. Third world countries where people live in poverty in really crappy villages, and it's their daily thing to get up and walk down to get water, and stand in line and pay the Western water companies who stole their water. It's become normal for them to work really hard and get very little for it. It's become normal to live in squalor, and people become accustomed to that. The same way, people become accustomed to living in, divine luxury, and you try to take that away from them, and some of them kill themselves. Money becomes their cycle. That's all they know. So, while there's that component of it that says, we have to realize that each person's situation is different and it's not always as bad as we think it is, just because we're not in that situation. Because their brain has learned to wire to that situation. Now, the negative impact that this has, and that's just the positive way to look at it, if there was one, the negative impact of this is that we become so stuck in our own cycles we refuse to change, we refuse to take on any new ways of thinking because we're afraid that they will interrupt our paradigm. They're afraid that it will interrupt our cycle, Some people have a difficult time even adjusting to taking a vacation because they're so set in their cycles. Like, vacation totally throws them off. And for some, even a day off throws them off because they work so hard. We become very, I guess, it just becomes the norm for us, whatever situation we're in. So, if we try to change that, it takes work, to get past the way that our brains adapt to things, to consciously be aware of the things that we're used to. Such as if I wake up and I have my cup of coffee every day as a routine. That's just what I do, But I could stop for a minute and say, how do I change this routine to maybe say, have my smoothie in the morning instead of having a cup of coffee or whatnot. I'm not saying I want to, but to be consciously aware of that. I like my coffee. But I think that we become so used to, wake up, the morning routine, go to work, come home. Some people watch TV, some people go to the computer, some people, do yoga or exercise, whatever their thing is. And sometimes it's difficult to start a new thing, a new practice, let's say. Say you want to start meditating. That's a difficult thing to fit in for a lot of people. Or let's say you want to start reading more because you haven't read in a while. You can develop these cycles, develop these norms. Like, I like to wake up in the morning. I remember a time in my life where I just wanted to sleep as long as I could. But now I'm just looking at the clock saying, is it time to get up yet? Can I get up yet? And that shows me that I'm happy in life, I have my own shortcomings and things to work out, but I've made the decision to be happy and to take life cycles on best I can. So, I guess that's all I could really say about it. Just the neuroplasticity of our minds and the way that we adapt to our circumstances. And to remember that we can change our circumstances. And that when we see others in bad circumstances, they don't even always know it. Because I've been there. People be like, are you alright? Like, oh, this is just normal to me. It's just every day. I'm always in pain. I'm very fortunate right now to not be in pain. I guess I woke up with a sore knee, my left knee. So, it kind of got me thinking about if I was still doing construction, my knee would probably be going out too. Anyway, take care everybody. Have a great day.